Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another show, for another episode of our Raw Reaction series, specifically the Arsenal news show every single day as much as we feasibly can at 8 a.m. UK time. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for making this, as always, part of your morning routine. You get up, you have your breakfast, you have your orange juice if you need it, and you chuck on the Gooner Talk when you watch the show. It's as simple as that. If you are joining us, of course, anywhere else in the world, and with whatever meal time it may be, welcome. Glad to have you here as we cover the final news show before the North London derby. That's not true, actually, because we'll do one the day of the game. So we'll do one on Sunday. More about why there's none tomorrow. We'll get onto that in a bit. But as always, please make sure you drop a like on today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you are indeed new around here with those notifications turned on so you never miss a show. If you'd like to help support the channel even further, you can by becoming a member and clicking the link to join the membership in the description. We're very close to 200 members, so make sure you join the 200 club. And if you haven't already, please drop a subscription on our brand new channel over at football.london, the Arsenal Way. Link to that is in the description as well as always. And interestingly, you may have seen an article go up on football.london yesterday. I had a good chat with Clive from, of course, the Arsenal Vision podcast, and Clive of the Arsenal now, because Clive of the Arsenal doing the voiceover adverts for Arsenal's work in the community around Highbury and Islington and all these areas, kind of help out the local businesses. And you've probably heard them and seen them. Aubameyang did the auto parts one yesterday. Really good piece of work. Came out in the morning. Very funny. Quite enjoyed it. And Rob Holding and Per Mertesacker, Amy Lawrence are involved in the Tollington one. So if you aren't checking them out, please make sure you do. And please give the article a read too. Now, looking ahead to kind of the game at the weekend, a few things are being said about specific players, and Paul Merson has been speaking about Kieran Tierney, our former youth player of the season back in, when was it? Was it 1988 or 1989? I think it probably was when Paul Merson got Young Player of the Year. But he's been saying about Kieran Tierney that the problem is that he's becoming a bit of a school captain. He's trying to do everything instead of trying to do his job, like stopping crosses. He's trying to do everything. So he is caught in between. Stop the cross or get back into a position. Dropping the criticism on Kieran Tierney is Paul Merson. I do, however, have a little bit of sympathy for the criticism. I think it's probably fair to point out the fact that Kieran Tierney does need to be a little bit better defensively and be a little bit better at stopping the crosses. And when it comes to stopping crosses against Harry Kane, it's going to be very important that he does that. I don't think he's necessarily trying to do everything. However, what I do think is that he has a point in the sense that on the right-hand side, Tomiyasu, quite good at stopping the crosses. Kieran Tierney does need to improve in that area. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody in the chat box. I always say weekend. I consider Friday a bit of a weekend. Plus, it's my day off. Absolutely. IGK says, Tom, you make my morning very interesting every day. Keep in touch with the club news and events. Thank you so much. No problem at all. Glad to have you in the chat. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So many of you. Thank you so much for always tuning in. Let's hit our next piece of news as we talk about Noah Lang. Now, it's not been the first time that we've spoken about Noah Lang, the Dutch youth international, soon to become a senior international at Club Brugge, the Belgian side. He left Ajax and has done very well since leaving there. In fact, he signed a new deal with the club despite signing for the club that same season. That's how good they think he is. And he could go on yet to leave the club in the summer, as a supposed agreement between the two clubs says that that can happen for a significant fee. And Arsenal were previously credited with interest in the player by outlet Fajades. But now Dutch outlet Voetbal have also come out to say that Noah Lang is of the interest of Arsenal. Now, I spoke to Belgian journalist and Club Brugge expert Bart Lage, or Lager, I probably should have got that right. But Bart told me all about Noah Lang and said that specifically the only way that Arsenal are going to beat anyone to his signature is if they have Champions League football. Noah Lang wants a team with Champions League football. That's what he's pushing for. That's what he wants to move to. And that's what they feel, those that watch Club Brugge, believe he is capable of moving to, is a good Champions League club. 22-year-old winger, 4 goals, 4 assists so far this season. Really solid young player. If these links intensify, Rahil, we will absolutely do a tactical breakdown on him. For now, I think it's a little bit chill. We will wait as we get closer to January, and there's a lot of more of the hype about this player boils up. We will cover him absolutely. So make sure you tune in for that. If you haven't already dropped a like on this video, first of all, what are you doing? Drop that like and show some appreciation for the commitment of doing these 8 a.m. shows for you every single day. Moving then on to an awkward moment. Now, I do this now and again, and I'll tell you about a comment that made me laugh. I have to hold my hands up. Now, I do this on a semi-regular occasion because, you know, I'm human. I don't get everything right. It's part and parcel of being a person on planet Earth, that I'm not always going to be correct about things. And sometimes the tribal, the raw reaction, if you will, of being a fan overcomes a person to the point where I make statements about things that, let's be real, I don't even know. And I don't know the medical background of Thomas Partey. I'm not a physiotherapist. I'm not an expert in this field. Neither was a lot of people who also agreed with me. So sorry, guys. This is all on me. I was wrong about Thomas Partey. He should have played against AFC Wimbledon. If you want to know the reasons and the in-depth reasons as to why, then you need to go and watch my conversation with Dr. Rajpal Brar, who talked to us all about Thomas Partey. You'll probably remember it from Free CB Performance. Physiotherapist, does a lot of videos on YouTube about obviously injuries and stuff like that. We interviewed him over on the Arsenal Way. Link to the show is in the description. But he explained to me from a medical perspective why it was important for Partey to play, about the risk associated with playing him. And he changed my mind. He absolutely changed my mind about the idea of playing Partey, that the risk with any player is that there's going to be a risk of injury. And actually, him playing in that game will set him up even better for the North London derby on Sunday. As I say, if you want to know the reasons, if you, like me before, were a bit frustrated, a bit angry, why is Partey playing? Why are we playing him? That's the questions I had, and Raj definitely answered those. So please do make sure you go and have a watch of that video. Link to it, as I say, is in the description, as is plenty of other fun videos over on the Arsenal Way. It's not, as some people have tried to describe, TGT's second channel. It is not that. It is Reach and Football.London's brand new channel. It's part of my new job, working over at the Arsenal Way, for those that have been asking. And it's been a lot of fun so far. Make sure you join the boys at 9:30 a.m. for the Agenda Show. They do an Agenda Show every Monday to Friday. Sometimes I do it. Sometimes the other guys do it. I'm a day off today. I've got a day off tomorrow as well. So you'll see me back on the show on Sunday. Actually, that's not true. You will see me on Saturday having a chat with Alistair Gold, the Tottenham Hotspur correspondent for Football.London. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel to get all of that content over there as well. Now, the Arsenal versus Tottenham preview show will, of course, be live today at 4 p.m. on the channel. Make sure that you're subscribed to TGT to get that beautiful bit of content. I'll be joined by some of the members from our Discord server to go through the Tottenham game, go through our predicted lineups, how we're feeling ahead of the match on Sunday, of course. And lastly, I do have to say apologies. There'll be no 8 a.m. show tomorrow. I'm having a day off. I'm entitled to days off. I'm having a day off. I have woken up at 8 a.m. Oh, earlier than that. I've woken up at like 6:30 a.m. for so long. There will be no 8 a.m. show tomorrow. Not because I'm going anywhere or doing a festival or doing anything like that. I'm just having a day off. I'm just having one day off from the 8 a.m. shows. It'll be back on Sunday, back ahead of the North London derby, back on Sunday morning. So just putting it out there. I'm having a day off. I deserve it. I want it. I'm taking it. And it's as simple as that. Can you think of the last time I had a lay-in? Because I can't. I can't remember the last time I had a lie-in. So it is what it is. And yes, how dare you, says John. I will enjoy my day off much greatly. And I know a lot of you in the comments have actually been telling me to have a day off. Maybe it was just because I said something you didn't agree with. Have a day off, mate. But I'm taking it, and there's nothing that you can do to stop me. But if you could drop a like on today's video, and if you would go and tune in to our video, if you think about it, I'm doing 2 shows today, so it kind of makes up for the fact that we're not doing one tomorrow because we've got the preview show at 4 p.m. UK time. Anyway, we move on to the last part of today's show, which you will definitely need to get your questions in now. You've got to get 48 hours worth of questions in to this second half of the show. I will go on a little bit longer today because, of course, I'm having a day off tomorrow. So I'll go on a little bit longer for you guys this morning. So if you've got any questions, do throw them into the chat box and we will go through as many as possible. There will, of course, be, there won't be a Raw reaction. Let me just check my schedule. This is the thing. You should really know your schedule. When you have a job, you should really know when you're working. I am working the game on Sunday for the North London Derby, and I finish at 10. So the Raw reaction to the North London Derby will be at 10 p.m. on Sunday. It's going to be a late one, but I hope that you join me for the Raw reaction show to the North London Derby as well. Dan says, what are you going to do during my 8 a.m. tomorrow? I'm going to play some golf. No, I'm not Wayne. If you know about Wayne, one of our regular podcasters, one of our TGT OGs, is Wayne, Mr. 97.2%. He loves his golf. If you follow him on Instagram, honestly, he's constantly playing golf. I have a suspicion that Wayne's absolutely minted. He has to be absolutely minted because all he does is he goes out and he plays golf every day. All of his Instagram stories just golf. Just swinging clubs all day long. Matt G says, with Kieran Tierney's injury history, do you think Arsenal should transfer him to a left-sided centre-back due to the less demand to get him up and down the wing? The only way that we can move him to a left-sided centre-back role is if we play him in a back 3. Now, I'm not adverse to playing Tierney as a left centre-back in a back 3. The problem for me, Matt, is I just don't think we're going to play that system anymore. The 4-3-3, the 4-2-3-1 seems to be what we are wanting to do under Mikel Arteta. And so, therefore, I just don't think you're going to see us play with that back 3 anymore, even against some of the bigger clubs. I think we're going to try and be as as consistent, as stable as feasibly possible. Let's go to Inga. Thank you so much, Inga, for becoming one of our brand new members. I'm sure that the chat box will make you feel very, very welcome. And if you are indeed becoming an expert member or a TGT ambassador, you can join our Discord server. So please make sure you do that and get involved with the conversations that go on literally 24/7. They don't stop. My Discord server it has a mind of its own. I sometimes go through it just to clear down like the notifications. And within about 15 minutes, I've got to go back and I'm like, yeah, I don't know why I read through all of this to clear through the notifications because, it's non-stop. They're a crazy bunch, but I love every single one of them, and they're an amazing group of people. So join the Discord server, join the TGT gang and community, and have fun. Christopher Martin says, prediction for the North London Derby. Tom, you would have to tune in, Chris. I'm not falling for that, Chris. You've tried. You've laid me a little bit of a bear trap there, and I'm just going to jump straight over it and tell you to go and watch our preview show at 4 p.m. this afternoon if you want all of my thoughts and the thoughts of my fantastic members on the show a little bit later today. Colin, Tom, when are you going to take your day off? Very funny, Colin. Very, very funny indeed. GGTV for you says, I didn't like Thomas Partey starting, but when I thought about it, 60 minutes on the pitch made sense for the weekend. Oh, well, I mean, if you want to go and find out more about that, link in the description to my chat with Dr. Raj, and you can indeed find out why I've changed my mind. Jamie says, hi, Tom. Who would be your number one choice to manage England for the World Cup? Gareth Southgate. Gareth Southgate, mate. Gareth Southgate, Mr. Waistcoat himself. World Cup semi-final. European Championship final. Why are people taking Gareth Southgate for granted? I'm sorry, but it's the hubris. It's the hubristic nature of the England fans. When was the last time you saw England in a major competition final? I'll tell you when. 1966. So, man, the entitlement of some. Southgate all the way. Captain Southgate, the one, the only Southgate. Amandeep says, we are playing once a week and I still see subs for cramps. This coupled with the final manager comments, is the team too soft? Absolutely not. Amandeep, it's the start of a new season. Cramps are going to happen. There's been a lot of games in a short space of time since the start of the season because obviously the cup competitions as well. We've been playing a game behind closed doors during the international break. It's been non-stop for the boys. Yes, we've got no European football. There's only been one game round played, by the way, in that European competition. And obviously they've had an international break for those that went away. And there was summer tournaments and there was the Olympics. There's been so much going on just even before the start of the season. It's not surprising to see cramps and situations like this go on. So no, Amandeep, I don't think it's a problem at the moment. Inga, hi Tom. Now you got an ambassador in Norway. Inga, can you get on the phone for me? Bring up Erling Haaland, tell him how good Arsenal is, and get him to the club, mate. That is your task, Inga. That is your task. And that's the only way that I'm allowing you a Discord server link. I'm only joking. Let's scroll down a little bit more and go to Ishbi, who says, would you regard Gnabry as world-class and would you be open to a reunion? I think he would come if we were in some sort of European competition. Do I think he's world-class? He's been world-class at Bayern. I don't think there's much argument about that. Serge Gnabry has been a world-class player since moving to Bayern with his goal record, with his impact on games. Yes, he's falling out a little bit of favour. When you've got the likes of Leroy Sané and Musiala and Kingsley Coman, it is going to be difficult to maintain your spot. But he's done it very, very well. And I have faith that if we were able to get him, I think it would be a very good move for us to do. Ron Raj says, Nuno seems to have Spurs very organised and our final ball is very predictable and inconsistent. Do you think we should look to transition the ball quicker? I always think we should look to move quicker, Ron. Absolutely. I think that we need to be looking at playing as kind of diverse as feasibly possible, as much variation in our play, not always going down the wide areas, being incisive, going straight through the middle, using Erdegaard, I assume, will be starting. So there you go. Dan, how was the FPL, mate? I think you owe me a thank you. If it wasn't for that -4 that I gave you out of pure gratitude and pure, I felt a bit bad for you, you wouldn't be above me. Two last weeks, I've outscored Danny Boy, and he comes at me thinking he's all good. But if it weren't for the -4 that I took, you wouldn't be above me, son. Just remember that. Just remember that. That's all I'm going to say. What I will be annoyed about is the fact I took a -4 to bring Richarlison in, who then was injured. So even more bad luck my way. It's nothing but luck, Dan. It's nothing but luck. And a big shout out to my former boss at 101 Great Goals, Benjamin Newman. You were top of the Gooner Talk League for a while. But as you said yourself, you got a little bit clever. You tried to be a little bit too smart and you've fallen away in the race. When you're at the top, consistency is king. You play the favourites. That's how you stay at the top. I don't know that from experience, but I can tell you from a few people that have been at the top, that's how you play it. You don't try and be clever when you're in the lead. You stay in the lead, play it smart, play it stable, play it cool. If you want to join our fantasy league, you can do. Link is in the bottom of the description for today's video. Maicon says, what will be the key battle on the pitch for the game on Sunday? Partey, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Those two are going to have a bit of a battle in the midfield. Ben White up against Harry Kane. It's obviously going to be big. Tomiyasu against Heung-min Son. That's going to be interesting as well. Plenty of key battles to join in today. Let's go to Mayo, who says, what can be done to improve link-up play of Aubameyang and Laka? Playing them together might be a good start, but I don't want to see that happen, to be honest. Venkatesh says, how would you describe Noah Lang's link? Is it similar to the Aouar one or Madison's or straight Erdegaard first choice? Hoping Edu might have already considered players for the next transfer window. I think it's a very loose link. My opinion is that I don't think that there's lots of interest right now. I don't get the feeling of that. Oh, and by the way, big shout out to the AFC Bell, who provided us with some amazing information in his first lesson for those that want to get into, the world of ITKs. The hashtag ITK rater returns. Lesson 1, a lot of words, not much said. Classic characteristic performance from the Bell. In fact, I think I summarized his first lesson in, a few words? Email club relation officers. That's it. That was lesson 1. Email the clubs. Email the clubs. I hope lesson 2 is a bit better because lesson 1, oh, mate, I was doing that in my sleep. Let's go to GGTV for you, who says, Tom, you had me believe you weren't good at football. You're bloody brilliant. I mean, I'm really not. Did you watch the video, GGTV? Because I'm not sure that you did. And I mean, part 2, just a sneak preview, it don't get much better. It's a lot worse. The challenges are a lot more fun and wacky, but trust me, it doesn't get much better. But me doing a dizzy penalty, which should be coming out next week over on the Arsenal way, it's not a sight that. In fact, it's bloody awful. So make sure you go and watch the first video, me against Bailey in the showdown, the Arsenal way. Link to the channel, as I say, is down below. Pablo says, "What do you prefer? Who do you prefer? Saka on the left or on the right? Do I prefer Saka on the left or the right? I think I prefer him on the right, but if you're going to play Pepe, you can't really drop Saka, so he has to play on the left. But I think you need to pick between the two. I'd play Saka over Pepe. I know some people would disagree and say that Saka right now isn't producing as much as Pepe, but I think that's because he's being pushed to the left-hand side. I'd play Saka on the right. I'd bring Emile Smith-Rowe onto the left, Ødegaard in the middle, and Aubameyang up top, Lokonga and Partey in behind. And yeah, that's probably what I'd go for, to be honest. Dan says, it's no coincidence that we have won the only 3 games this season that Xhaka has not played in. Will you admit you were wrong about Xhaka being good too? No. Xhaka has been good for us in the past, but I am done with him, Dan. I'm over it. I'm finished. Dan, I'll tell you what, when you come on, which you've been avoiding coming on for a while, I'm not holding back anymore. You're calling me out way too much on these shows. I am coming for you, son. I'm coming for you. Venkatesh says, Tom, we know how Nuno wants his team to play. Who would you consider having more important role if we win? We might have a more possession with Ødegaard or Partey. Partey always, mate. Partey is the key cog in the machine. He is the absolute necessity of this side, is Thomas Partey. No shadow of a doubt. No debating. Partey is the one and the most key to Arsenal winning and progressing and achieving their goals this season. Jonathan says, Tomiyasu will face his first real test against Son. I hope he does. What do you feel about Gareth Southgate becoming Arsenal manager one day? Not great, because his experience is obviously, I know he used to manage Middlesbrough and that quite a while ago, but his main experience over the last however many years is very much in international football. And I'm more so inclined to suggest we move for a coach that's much more UK-based, not UK-based, club-based. So there you go. That sounded very Brexit. Anthony says, Arsenal 4, Tottenham 1 if the lineup is Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Tierney, Gabriel and White, Partey and Lokonga and Smith-Rowe, Ødegaard, Saka and Lacazette. Well, you'll have to see if you match my lineup by coming and tuning in to the 4 p.m. preview show. Make sure you do turn those notifications on the channel so you never miss a show. Surprising you, GGTV, my football skills is, the bar must have been pretty darn low if I surprised you. There you go. Scroll up. Have I missed anyone's questions? Let's scroll up. I feel like I skipped past other people's. What do I think of Tottenham? You can't not really, can you? Let's go to Food for the Soul, who says, why are some worried about playing Lokonga against Spurs as if he didn't play against them already and did do good in pre-season? I don't know. Lokonga's great. Lokonga is absolutely my standout surprise player of the season. I'm loving the Lokong. I'm appreciating everything about it. Get him into the team on Sunday. Play him next to Partey. That's what I want to see. That's where we should be moving from. Andy says, when has Xhaka been good? I must be watching another Xhaka. I mean, who was our best central midfielder last season? That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. Venkatesh says, battle between Barcelona and Arsenal. Who will win? Don't be biased. Arsenal, because Barca are dreadful. Barcelona are dreadful. And I'll tell you what, as a fan of La Liga, but as an Espanyol follower myself, reveling in it, love it. I hate Barcelona. I absolutely despise them. So the fact that they are struggling and they are hating, it's annoying that we're not in the Champions League when Barcelona are struggling. That's a problem. But yeah, awful is what they are. Alan says, Tom, just thanks for the good content on what you said about Partey stance. Well done. Thanks, Alan. Much appreciate it, mate. You won't see many people change their minds. I want to say as easily. I don't think it's easily. And this is what I was going to say. I was on the Arsenal Lounge the other day, and some of you follow us on the Arsenal Lounge. And the thing is, I have a different policy to Lev and Shaheen. And as I say, everyone can run their channels how they want to run them. When there's like a dodgy comment or an abusive comment or someone that's disrespectful, it's just a straight block. Now, other YouTube channels are fine with that. They're happy to have whatever comments if they want them to be disagreeing, because it is what it is. I'm not going to judge. I just personally prefer to just block straight up. Now, it does mean that this channel has amassed, I think, something like over 1,000 blocked accounts. I'm not joking. That's genuinely how many abusive accounts have taken the time to throw on a ridiculous comment on the channel, which does mean when I go onto other channels, there are quite a few accounts that follow them that are blocked on this channel. And so they're like, oh, we've got Tom in our sights and he can't block us. Let's go in. So that's usually what happens. But there was an interesting point on, I say interesting, it was a horrific comment on one of the Arsenal Lounge videos. I think it was not this week's, it was the week before, where someone said that I had a responsibility, effectively along the lines of, I have responsibility to my people who view my channel, and I have an influence on the people who view my channel. And so when I changed my mind on Arteta, or rather just had, the evidence for me was a case where I felt I couldn't really continue to say, trust the process at this point, even in a comical sense, because the evidence was just overwhelmingly, in my view, in the need to change the coach for things to improve after the Villarreal defeat. And I was told that was wrong, and I shouldn't have done that because I've influenced you guys, because apparently me saying trust the process has an influence on you making up your own mind. When you're your own person, you can choose to make up your own mind. You got free will. You can choose to change your mind too. You can choose not to change your mind. It is what it is. You do you. But to tell me that I'm having an influence on people's opinions by changing my view because the evidence suggests otherwise, it's a little bit silly. It's a little bit silly. So now I'm not allowed to change my mind now. I'm just not allowed. I'm not allowed to change my mind. It's just how it is. Apologies. But I've done it again today. So unlucky. What can I say? Wayne says, karma for putting that shirt on, Cesc. I'm loving every minute of their turmoil. Barcelona, of course. Yes, Wayne. Absolutely agree. Neil says, Tom, Partey number 6, Erdogan number 8, ESR number 10 for the derby. I think that's a bit risky. It's just a little bit risky, I think, that one. I'd go for Lokonga and Partey for me, to be honest. A forehead tattoo. What, right here? It said, I can change. I trust the process. That's what it would be. Daniel Roberts says, are Tierney and Tomiyasu our best fullback pairing since Sanya and Clichy? Is it better than Bellerin and who was left back? Monreal? Bellerin and Monreal is better than those two? Debussy. Oh, Debussy. What a right back he was for however long he was there. Probably. It probably is. Yeah, that probably goes to how bad we've been at bringing in fullbacks to this club. Tomiyasu and Tierney. TT. Always. Matt G says, Tom, I can't make my own decisions. What should I have for breakfast? Something healthy, mate. Something healthy always. IGK says, some people in football act like if you celebrated Arteta when he won the FA Cup, that means you must back him when we are 15th in the league table after 10 games. I know, crazy, isn't it? Tom says, Tom, because you told me trust the process, TM. That's brilliant, Tom. I've gone and tattooed the motto on my back. I shouldn't have done that. Please don't tattoo trust the process on your body. Please. You're going to get an Arsenal tattoo. I have full respect for that. Don't get silly slang terms like goodness. You will look back on that decision. I know you're only joking, but I know that there are extreme people out there that genuinely would consider doing that. You've had a few drinks on a night out. We've all been there. You're like, your mate goes, oh yeah, you should get a tattoo of that. And you're like, yeah, that's a great idea. No, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's really, really not worth it. I can't speak. I don't have any. But friends of mine, hashtag Malia13, you know who you are. Unbelievable. CA says Tomiyasu is the right back we're looking for the last 3 years. Lichtsteiner, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and Cedric. Yeah, it does show you how far those areas of the fullback for Arsenal have fallen incredibly, incredibly low. Raw reactions would be a great tattoo. Now, if there was a TGT, what is it I say? I'm sure there's things that I say more than anything. I used to say the words and whatnot all the time until the chat box just would absolutely pelt me every single show with and whatnot. That's all I would say. I suppose during the news shows, all I say is moving on to or something. And there's something else. I'm sure there's something else I've said as well. If I wasn't a betting man, I've said that before. There's a lot. You just get into these weird habits when you host shows that you say things over and over again. It's really irritating because sometimes I have to watch the shows back to put the timestamps in the video. And when you hear yourself speak and you say the same things, it's really, really annoying. Ovik says, silly peasants. We all know Arteta is going to start Xhaka and Elneny. It's written in the stars, Ovik, isn't it? It's absolute. Yeah, the TGT sneeze. I mean, I do love a sneeze on a show. Haven't felt like it this one. I think you know what it is. It's because this room that I do the show in is so dusty because I haven't dusted it in so long. I just end up sneezing. Vote for us in the Football Content Creator Awards. And as always, up the Arsenal is a classic. Hello and welcome to. Yeah. I suppose there is actually more. Moving swiftly on. Yes, Lewis. There is plenty. I've now had a horrible realization of how many cliches and. Well, not cliches, the wrong word. How many catchphrases I say constantly. Venkatesh says, Arsenal winning Premier League playing defensive football or winning Carabao and FA Cup playing entertaining football? Winning the Premier League, mate. Winning the Premier League, Venkatesh. No shadow of a doubt. That is the ultimate. That is the goal. That is not the minimum. What am I saying? The Premier League, the minimum. I sound like those entitled fans that think we should be title challenging every season. But no, the Premier League is the ultimate, is the word. That's the goal. That's what I want. Champions League, to me, is great. But the Premier League, I'd love to see us win the league again. I'd love to see us win the league. I really would. I know we've not won the Champions League, but the league, there's just something about the league. But right now it is absolutely impossible. Absolutely impossible. Well, that was disappointing. I hear that a fair bit. Yeah. When we lose, that is a solid go-to. Mazza, if Man United were the best, mate, you would have won more trophies than us in the last 5 years. Or 8 years, however long it is. I think it was something ridiculous, like we've won more trophies than you for so many ridiculous years. GGTV for you says, you got my vote, Tom. Already done it. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated. Andrew from the Arsecast would be the Acetera. I notice I'm saying it now a lot more myself. I need to listen to the Arsecast the last 2 weeks. I'm a little bit behind. Honestly, this new job has got me so busy. I'm struggling to even catch up on podcasts at the moment. It's that bad. Shime says, Tom, should I consider bathing? Yes, please. Bathe in the greatness of the Gooner Talk. That's what you should do. No, you shut up. Love winding up United fans. It's hilarious. Tariq talks, thank you so much for becoming a member. Really appreciate the support. As always. Alan says, I think Xhaka won't start. He came from COVID and suspension. Do you think Arteta directly put him in the team just like that? And now our team is playing well. Why change it? Because he loves Xhaka. He loves Xhaka. He's just like his right-hand man. He will be playing him. Absolutely. He's going to play Xhaka next to Partey, and Xhaka is going to just 2-foot someone. I get sent off. Tariq says, I'm not a new member. I've just renewed. Well, thank you for renewing, Tariq. I appreciate the continued support, mate, as always. You don't need to explain yourself. Oh, Mazza, you're boring me, mate. You're boring me. See you later. You see what I mean? Right? We have so many blocked accounts on the channel. Zach says, we were a regular Champions League and then we signed Xhaka. I hate this. Yes, we signed Xhaka and it was like after he signed was a regression. But if you are going to pin the regression on one player, it just takes away so much of the context. It's so coincidental. We should have built more around when Xhaka joined. There was a lot of hype around this guy. Borussia Mönchengladbach captain in the early ages of 20, solid Bundesliga player. What did we do? What did we do when we signed Xhaka? We signed Mustafi and Lucas Perez. That's what we did. That's who we signed. How about signing some decent players? Like, why didn't we do that instead? That's the issue. We were awful at recruitment, and we continue to be awful with recruitment until, say, the last couple of years, we've really started to turn things around in how we recruit players, even though there's continual moaning about this window. I still think this window was a solid 7 out of 10. I would have liked to have seen a central midfielder, but the signings we made are good. I can't fault them. Tomiyasu looks a great signing. Lokonga, a really good signing. Tavares, a really good backer. Ben White, I don't care about his price tag. We needed a centre-back. We brought him in. Saliba was never going to play for us under Arteta. He just wasn't. So bring in Ben White. Hopefully Saliba comes back and we can replace Rob Holding with him. Erdegar. I mean, how many times? He's been here 6 months and we've got people slamming the guy. Absolutely slamming Erdegar already. It's ridiculous. Quite frankly, embarrassing. And at the same time, goes and gets a free kick and scores against Burnley and is really influential in the game against Norwich. Look, we need this guy and he's awesome. And I can't wait to see him prove a lot of people wrong this season. So fingers crossed that continues on the way that it does. And then you look at Partey and Gabriel being brought in last summer. 2 amazing signings. Things are improving in the recruitment department. But after Xhaka signed, we really did let things go. Awfully so. Runswick says Henry won't watch a game when Xhaka plays. Yeah, a bit of a weird statement that was. Billy Ferraldi says, Tom, would you take Gnabry back? Yes, I would. Amin says, I've been saying this all summer and people kept saying, oh, we only bought one good player. Yeah, it wasn't me, mate. I didn't say that. Still says, Tom, considering the Xhaka cycle we are in for having a blinder, as he already had moment of stupidity, are we sorted for the next year? He does tend to do that, doesn't he? Has like one off moment and then has a period where he's really quite good. I don't want to see him start. Lokonga and Partey all the way. Zach says, I wasn't a fan of Erdegar when we signed him permanently, but I must admit he has been proving me wrong this season, which is a good thing. Absolutely, mate. And that's all you can ask for. And if you are someone that didn't necessarily want Erdegar, you should want him to prove you wrong. I never get this idea of getting so personally really hurt in your backside about a player that you didn't necessarily want to sign. Like, I really wasn't keen on Tavares. I really wasn't keen. And that was from speaking to people that have watched him at Benfica and saying a lot of stuff about like negatively, that he's not great defensively, that they were shocked that Arsenal came in for him. But whilst I was really apprehensive and really tentative about Tavares, all I want is for him to prove me wrong. All I want is for him to succeed. But you don't. You have these really entitled people that just want to really slam these players consistently and pray they're proven right because they're so insecure about being wrong about something. It's a real bad insecurity of plenty of people that need to really, really look at the fact that Arsenal comes first. The club comes first, always. And that should be the priority of wanting the club to succeed. It is as simple as that. Jonathan says, if clubs can appeal for a red card overturn, I think fans should be granted the rights for a reverse appeal. P.S. Still think he's a decent player, just too reckless. What do you mean? If clubs can appeal a red card overturn, I think fans should be able to grant the rights for a reverse appeal. I don't think fans are ever going to be able to give him that power, John. You're dreaming, mate. Absolutely dreaming. Go viral or die trying says no one has been proved right or wrong on any of the new players. Can people watch a player over 10 to 20 games before we make judgments? Absolutely. Like, we should really. Why are we making judgments about players already? I think so far they've been great. That's all we can say. Is that so far I can't fault the signings. I think they've been good. Ben White had a bit of an off day the other day against Burnley, granted, but I think he's a good player. I think I like what he's about. I think he played really well against Norwich. I thought he dealt with that. He won a lot of his aerial duels against Burnley. And even then, when that stat came up that he won a load of his aerial duels against Burnley, you had some people turning around going, oh, he was just winning headers. Like, he just won headers. Why are you trying to put our players down? Are you that desperate to really criticise our players that you want to put our players down? I don't get it. It's really strange. It's really, really odd. It's really quite sociopathic. I don't get it whatsoever. Why? You support the team, get behind the team, get behind the players. That's what I say. And what I would say is that you can have an opinion and still support the team. Like, my opinion is very much that I thought a change of coach after the Villarreal game and going forwards up until this present day is the right decision. But I back Arteta 100% to turn things around. I wanted to turn things around. Backing someone, but still time being critical, can exist. You can have them at the same time. You can support them to turn things around, and you can still have the opinion that you think a change of that person is probably the best thing for your club right now. But you're praying that they turn things around. And I just can't get in the mindset of the other side to just utterly insult them and embarrass them and embarrass people, embarrass yourselves doing so. I just can't get my head around it. It's really odd. It's really strange. It's probably why we only have 27k subs. But I'm happy being the way that we are, and I'm happy having the community that we have, because it's bloody great and you're bloody great. And we're going to wrap things there before I get a little bit emotional. So we'll see you this afternoon, 4 p.m. UK time, for the preview show. Make sure you tune in for that. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you as always. Go check out the Arsenal Agenda show at 9:30 a.m. this morning on the Arsenal Way, and go and watch my chat with Dr. Raj about Thomas Partey's inclusion in the AFC Wimbledon game on Wednesday. It will explain to you why I've changed my mind on Partey. Maybe it will change your mind too. Have a fantastic Friday. If I don't see you, and there's no 8 a.m. show tomorrow morning, I'm having a day off because I've earned it. So I'm taking it. Anyway, have a fantastic day, guys. See you later. Have a good one. See you at 4 p.m. And as always, up the Arsenal.